The 10 best fragrances from the House of Dumont. Now, I will tell you, I have over 30 fragrances from Dumont, and this is a brand that kind of came on the scene out of nowhere just in the past year or two. You know, the first one that blew up that I really became aware of was probably Nitro Red. And since that time, it's like banger after banger, most of which that have been out for quite a while, but finally, I think maybe in the West, people are becoming aware of them. This is a very high quality house that has a very broad range of fragrances that they do alternatives to or twists on. And so, you know, it's hard to pick from such a big pile of good fragrances which ones are the best, but I would say these are probably my 10 favorite Dumont fragrances. We're going to get into this list, but remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet, and give your very favorite click to the like button if you like the video. Let's begin. All right, this first one has become my favorite alternative to BR540. Funny enough, what I hear is that even though the distributor told me it was an alternative to BR540, apparently it's supposed to be an alternative to Electimus Trajan. Even a couple other things that I've heard, which all of them are basically inspired by BR540. I'm talking about Traidor Celestia. This stuff is, it is just such high quality. It smells so very smooth, and it captures, of course, the texture and the kind of wow factor of BR540, but it doesn't have, there's a certain kind of fragrance chemical synthetic vibe that I get from the other clones that I have, even the ones that I really like, but this one is definitely the smoothest. The only thing that I'll tell you that's a little different is there is a fruity sweetness in the opening of this one that varies just a touch from BR540. I think that's probably where the Electimus Trajan fragrance would come in, but it's still super close to BR540, and it's just so very good. I love layering this with other things. I wear it by itself. It's very long lasting, as most good BR540 dupes are. So again, check it out if you are interested in a little bit of a twist on BR540. Traidor Celestia. Next, we're going to go with one in a bottle that you'll see a couple other times in this video. It's one of the Nitro fragrances, Nitro White. And wow, this is a great fragrance. It is probably 50% Nitro Red, which was basically a twist on BR540 and Invictus. Those two kind of blended together is really what Nitro Red was. But this one's got some vanilla, it's got some geranium, it's got a touch of kind of fresh spicy, even a little warm spicy added to it, as well as some real sweetness from vanilla. This is my favorite take on that DNA. So that would include, you know, Nitro Red and a couple of the others. This is my favorite one. It is awesome. I've actually given a bottle of this away to a friend. They love it. They wear it all the time. This is a compliment magnet as well. Again, Nitro White. Next, we'll go with another one in a bottle like that. This one is Nitro Blue, and this one is an alternative to Parfums de Marly Pegasus, although there's something different in it also. To my nose, it smells like 70% Parfums de Marly Pegasus and 30% Dolce & Gabbana The One. You know, they're both powdery fragrances. They both have a certain kind of texture to them, and they are both two of the most three-dimensional fragrances that I own. The Pegasus DNA and Dolce & Gabbana The One. To me, this fragrance is mostly Pegasus for the first hour or so, but then as it settles, a little bit of The One begins to come out. Either way, if you like Pegasus or even The One, I think you'll love this one. So very good, Nitro Blue. This next one, I think it took a very popular fragrance and in my opinion made it 10 times better. It took a similar DNA to Lattafa Kayadal Furson, which was a kind of pineapple, saffron, and dark woods fragrance, and they turned it into a gourmand fragrance. I'm talking about Nitro Platinum. Now this fragrance is definitely sweeter than Traidor Celestia, but it doesn't have what is, to my nose, a very bitter note that I always got in Traidor Celestia. Since I have got this, I don't think I've worn the Lattafa at all. I like it so much more. There's a smoothness to this one that you don't find in the Lattafa. And again, there is a sweetness, an actual gourmand sweetness. I think there's like a sugar note in here and some other sweet notes like that. It's just so very good. Again, Nitro Platinum. All right, next up, I had to dig through the pile of Dumont Aventus style fragrances that I have. I've even given one or two of them away to you guys, and I think I still have 4 or 5 versions of Aventus from Dumont. I think this one's probably the best though. This is Dumont Celerio Oros. And some people have said that it is Aventus with just a splash of Nishane Hasavat. And, you know, I get that a little bit. It's maybe a little bit more tart in the opening than normal Aventus would be, but it's still just a great alternative to Aventus. It's, you know, a little less on kind of that, you know, birch smokiness and a little more on the fruit, so more fruity style Aventus, but it's still got a good bit of darkness. It's very powerful, very long lasting. Excellent alternative to Aventus here. A high-end dupe of Aventus, I would say, Celerio Oros. All right, next up. This one, I don't think I've heard anybody else talk about it. It's such an unusual fragrance. This is Scaper Pour Homme. And this one is kind of like, it's kind of like Nitro Red. Even the distributor told me that it was a twist on Nitro Red, but it's got this kind of fruit juicy sweetness in the opening, almost like, you know, grape juice is a very sweet fruit juice, almost like a grape juice kind of a feel in the opening. And then there's a certain kind of a texture, which this just sounds so strange, but almost like a crunchy, like glaze on a glazed donut. I don't even know if any of that makes sense, but to me, if you want a twist on Nitro Red, probably still 70% similar, and you like fragrances that have a little bit more of a weight to them. Nitro Red is quite transparent and, you know, airy. This one is definitely more dense with a little bit of a twist. I love this fragrance. Really looking forward to wearing it now that we've hit some spring weather. Again, this is Scaper. Next up, we're going to look at the Bravanzo fragrances. Ramon Blazar Bravanzo, still made by Dumont. This is Baron, and it's actually a combo of Parfums de Marly Carlisle and red tobacco. And I would say it's maybe a little more on the Carlisle, probably 60% Carlisle, 40% red tobacco. But both of those are patchouli fragrances with some vanilla and some spice. A lot of similarities, but tobacco has that powerful tobacco and ash and kind of an oudiness. Well, this one has notes from both of them. It's got the tobacco, yet it still leans a little more towards Carlisle. So here's what I would say. If you like either of those, maybe you don't have either of those. If you have one but you don't have the other, this is just a great option for that family of fragrances. Really good performance on this. Probably a 10-hour fragrance. Really good stuff. Baron. Another of the Bravanzo fragrances. This one is pretty different from the one that I just showed you. That one is definitely a winter, maybe fall fragrance. This one is much more of a spring and summer fragrance, and I love this stuff. This is Bravanzo Vestige, and it is basically an alternative to Sospiro Vibrato, and it is a bright, sweet, citrus, powerfully green fragrance. It's in the family of something like Bulgari Tigar, or even to lesser degree like Louis Vuitton L'Immensity, but it is, to me, in Tigar, the best part of the fragrance is the sweet citrus that's in the opening. This DNA has that probably times 4. It's got significantly more sweetness, although it's still not an overly sweet fragrance, but it's the brightness is so powerful. It doesn't have what I perceive as just a touch of almost like a bitterness or something, maybe coming from some sort of woods or vetiver or something in the Traidor DNA, which I do still like, but I like this better. It's brighter, it's sweeter. It smells like the color of this bottle. So very good. Vestige from Bravanzo. Next up, I think this is one of the best alternatives that you could possibly get to Angel Share by Kilian's. This is from Dumont, Bouge Silage. This one is, to me, this is sort of similar to Camera in one way, Latafa Camera. Latafa Camera was such a powerful fragrance. You know, it was sweeter because of a dates note, this, you know, rich, powerful, marshmallowy kind of a sweetness. And it was, you know, maybe even a little more spicy. It was just like Angel Share with some twists on steroids. Well, this one doesn't have the differences that Camera has. It's pretty close to Angel Share, but it's just powerfully spicy, powerfully sweet, powerfully long lasting. It's like a more concentrated take on the Angel Share DNA. So very good. Again, Bouge Silage. Number 10. Now let me just say, I could have put Bouge Lamasat Oud in here, a killer alternative to Tom Ford Oud Wood. I could have put Bouge Spiritus, which is their take on Aventus. I could have put Bouge Perlador, which is their take on Carlisle, and on and on. I could have mentioned so many others, but I chose this one because it is really something special. It is nuclear strong. It is all at once. I'm almost scared to wear it, but I want to wear it more and more every time I wear it. I'm talking about Bouge Mysterious, and it is a nuclear powerful twist on Xerjoff Herba Pura. Now, in general, I don't really love Herba Pura. There's just something about it. It's a touch too feminine for me, and a little bit too syrupy sweet for me. This one, though, takes the best of Herba Pura. I would say it even amplifies the aromatics a little bit. I would say it rolls back a little bit of kind of the perfumey sweetness of Herba Pura, and it interjects some of the kind of woody dryness part of BR 540. And it just works so very well. It is such a wonderful fragrance. It's intoxicating. It's borderline addictive. It's one of those fragrances. The reason I say I'm almost scared to wear it, it's so powerful and it's so different that, you know, I'm wondering, like, I'm enjoying it the whole time, but I'm wondering, like, are people around me hating this? Am I choking them out? But it is just so very good. But beware, it's unique, it's powerful. Probably not everybody would love it. But if you want to try something that you're definitely going to get your money's worth, man, it's a great fragrance. Bouge Mysterious, really, really good take. And the only fragrance I have that smells like Herba Pura that I actually wear. I do wear that one, but I am selective in when and how I wear it. So that's been my top 10 from Dumont. What are your favorite Dumont fragrances? Let me know down below, and go ahead and give your top 10 clicks to the like button. Actually make it 11, because if you do an even number, it will unlike the video. And subscribe to the channel. I'm Justin. This is Silage Scents.